Welcome to the show. Hello.
My name is Mary Golden. My husband and I lost a 21-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old grandson in a drunk driving accident on December the 1st. The man who killed our children registered a .18 on a breathalyzer test. Before he ran my daughter off the road in a space of a 2-mile section of the road, he also ran an ambulance off the road and 4 other cars. And one thing that's so difficult for us to handle is this man has no regrets.
How do you know that?
It's being prosecuted by the Anne Arundel County State's Attorney Warren Duckett, and he says the man absolutely has no regrets. He just doesn't seem to have any feeling. We'd like to think this is shock, but evidently it's not.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it's pretty hard to take. I'd like to see this man off the road before someone else has to try to cope with what we've had to cope with.
Is off the road enough? Would you like to see him behind bars?
Yes, behind bars. Not out of vengeance, but because this man is driving around now. He was out of jail the same night he killed our children at 4:45. They were not the only ones hurt in the accident. My daughter's car was hit. He passed on the right side of the road, on the shoulder of the road, forced the right side of her car, which completely underneath the car. He was driving a truck. She was forced across the center line into the path of another car, injured 2 other people and put them in the hospital. The one girl still has a broken leg. Other injuries, I understand she's going to have surgery for her face. This man they have a tremendous amount of evidence against him. He had been drinking since 11 o'clock that morning when he had gotten off work early. There are county police that can testify to this. He was seen, almost forced another lady off the road with a county police officer behind him. One thing I do not understand is why he did not pull him over. I have no answer for that. And then he proceeded to pass the ambulance on the right side. Our grandson died from a broken neck and a broken back. He wasn't even found until after my daughter had been transported to the hospital. Nobody knew he was there. I came home from work and had a garbled up message that my daughter had been injured and I was to call the hospital. When I called the hospital, they said, we can't give you any information except your daughter is being seen by a doctor. You can come down. My son went to the hospital with me, and I think God was preparing me because I had no idea what I was going to walk into. I just thought she was hurt. It didn't occur to me that it could be something serious. I mean, you know, very, very serious. I went into the hospital and asked about her, and immediately they took me back to a room. And the doctor looked at me and said, Mrs. Golden, I hate to have to tell you, but your daughter and your grandson are gone. And I just couldn't believe it. I said, you're telling me they're both dead? He said, yes, they're both gone. And the man who killed him was supposedly to go to trial on January the 19th. He skipped bail. He's back now in Anne Arundel County, as far as I know. He is out on bail due to go to court August 1st.
And driving his car.
And driving his car.
Thank you very much. We'll be back. Back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on Channel 13's People Are Talking. Hello.
Good morning, Richard.
Hi.
My husband was killed by a drunk driver in June of '77. Going up Route 50, going to a fishing trip at 4:30 in the morning. 7 o'clock, the state trooper knocked on my door and said there'd been an accident. That I know anyone with the vehicle that matched his, and he told me he had been killed. The boys were doing, according to witnesses, about 90 miles an hour, skidded across the median strip in the path of my husband's truck. He hit them broadside. The boys got off scot-free. The license was never revoked to the driver. They couldn't prove who was driving the car because both boys were pulled from the same side of the car. The boys went to court. They found neither one of them guilty. They got off scot-free. The driver never lost his license. He's back on the road, and God knows what he's doing to somebody else. And I can relate to this family. My husband was taken away. He just had his 43rd birthday. And prime of life, ready for a new business and everything, and in seconds it's gone.
Yeah, this is
And
very
how do you
typical.
live with this?
Todd.
It's
Well,
very
how left
typical.
after they go on living, they survive it, but you never forget it.
No, you never forget it, but it's very typical for these people to have their license up, you know, a few minutes later, or an hour or so after the process, they're out on the road driving again, not until the trial date. Even after that, motor vehicle has to take their license from them, so therefore they are driving for sometimes up to a year after the accident.
But they quite often put killers in jail until their trials.
Yes, they do.
And these people are killers. Why don't they put them in jail too?
Again, I get back to the same problem. It's not viewed as a crime. In this
As an
state,
accident.
manslaughter or homicide by a motor vehicle while intoxicated is a misdemeanor. The same thing as shoplifting, the same thing. It's a
State
misdemeanor.
seal of Maryland, that is a felony.
So-
To kill a child is a misdemeanor, a slap on the wrist.
So when they upgrade the charge of homicide and manslaughter to what it is, it's a felony, and be dealt that way. Most of the thoughts about removing the man's license, well, he needs it to go to work. His family will suffer. What about the family of this lady who lost her husband? Victims' rights are never considered.
You're talking about people who are specifically driving under the influence of alcohol, because there are accidents that happen where there are manslaughter accidents that people cannot avoid.
Yeah,
and
right.
it's not under the influence of alcohol.
No, just DWI, right?
Thank you for your call. We're going to hear from a few more people, and then we're going to try to figure out what we can do about this and what Matt is doing. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm Reverend